the section ended up doing a tour for about 5 weeks, opening for Mahavishnu Orchestra.
What year
And
was that?
That was probably 72, late 72.
I saw the Mahavishnu when they just had come out with
Inner Moaning.
No, Inner Mountain Flame was already, they hadn't released what was the next one? It's the Spirits, not Spirit. Inner Mountain Flame, and then
Yeah, it's hard to remember.
Anyway, but I saw you.
They were unbelievable, and
I thought it was an orchestra. Someone said, "You want to go see this Mahavishnu?" I went, "Oh, orchestra! I'm studying music, classical music," and I went,
"Really, really?
Wow!"
Yeah. So Billy and I became. I mean, we were all friends. I mean, Jerry Goodman and Jan and everybody. But Billy and I became friends during the course of that tour. And so when that tour ended, Billy called me and he said, "Look, I got a record deal. You want to come to New York and do it?" Well, I flew to New York and we did that album in 2 days. It's basically 1 take or 2 takes of each song. And it was just, and the thing was, when I was in Wolfgang, one of the other acts that the management company, the local management company had was Zephyr, which Tommy Bolin was in Zephyr. So I knew Tommy from like
you bought
68. No, I was so surprised when I got back to New York and I walked into Electric Lady Studios and there's Tommy, and we hadn't seen each other in like 3 years. And on that record is probably some of the greatest guitar playing anybody has ever done, and it was all live. There's one point in that record where Tommy's playing a solo and breaks his E string in the middle of the solo. And you can hear it on the record.
Yeah.
Keeps on blowing. There was no punches.
Do you remember?
I would have to like Tarian.
But that's a Spectrum album.
That was Spectrum.
Dude, that was.
And that record to this day, you know, if I walk in any studio or any situation in the world and I start going do 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 do, guys jump all over it.
Yeah.
And you look at that, and that was 1973.
Yeah.
But it stood the test of time.
So the thing about the section, though, is like, once again, it's like, I mean, that's like, you know, that's all in the realm of getting the right team together and the right chemistry, and teams win Super Bowls and, you know, World Series, not individuals. That was the example. And thank God, whoever, all these different people they recognize, get that team.
Yeah.
Get that sound. And once again, it makes the job easier for the producer.
When I look back to my career, there's certain things that happened that I have to say were game changers. One of the greatest game changers was working with Peter Asher, because Peter insisted that our names appear on the albums, because the Wrecking Crew never got album credit. There was liner notes and things like that, but they never said, "Here's the drummer, here's," you know, it's hell. So when people were listening to Frank Sinatra and the Association and the Mamas and the Papas and the Beach Boys, they didn't even say Wrecking Crew. There was no musician credits on those things. So people didn't know it was all the same cats. Well, when we started James's stuff with Peter, he said, "No, I want everybody to get album credit on it." When James is suddenly on the cover of Time magazine as the face of this whole new era coming up of music, then all of a sudden the labels started signing all, like the Jackson Browns and Casey Kellys and I mean, tons and tons of, they would look at James's record, see our names on it and go, "Well, if they're good enough for James, let's call those guys." But the thing that was scary about it was literally going from 0 to 100 in 1 day. Because the only time I'd ever been in a studio before that was when we went in the studio in San Francisco with David Rubinson to cut some demos with Wolfgang that never even got finished. That was my entire breadth of my studio experience. And the next thing I know, I'm becoming a first call guy. And I have no idea what the hell's going on in LA.
In LA. Yeah. At the peak of the beginning of what was going to be the peak of the music business.